What is going on, everyone? It's Sean with another Tesla video. And in this one, I'm going to cover how much my Model S cost over the last 12 months that I've owned it. I actually hit my 12-month anniversary, my 1-year anniversary, and I have been really excited to look back at the cost that I've incurred with my Tesla and compare it to the cost of my Subaru Legacy that I had to determine which one was less expensive. Now, when I first did my research before I bought the Tesla, I was relatively confident that the Tesla would be a better option for me as far as cost goes. I knew that I was going to be driving a lot, and I wanted something that was going to be cost effective, that wasn't going to be expensive to maintain. And so those are a couple of the biggest reasons why I decided to go with a Tesla. And of course, it looks really cool, but I really looked at it from a cost perspective on a monthly recurring basis, cost compared to Legacy. What does it cost me to run and operate the Subaru Legacy on a monthly basis versus what it costs me to run and operate the Tesla Model S 60 kilowatt hour battery. So if at any point during this video you enjoy it, you like what you're hearing, please hit subscribe and then hit like. I would really appreciate it. And if you are in the market for a newer inventory Tesla, you can take a look at my referral code down in the video notes. It gets you $1,000 off your purchase, as well as free supercharging for life as long as you purchase before the end of 2017. So thank you, and let's jump into the screen share. All right, so what I'm going to attempt to do is give you a high-level overview of cost and then dive into a little bit of the details of what makes these numbers up. So let me just kind of preface this by saying that I bought a Subaru Legacy in February of 2016, drove it for 9 months, and realized things were getting a little bit expensive for fuel and oil changes and general maintenance on the car. And so I started looking into a Tesla, and I had this theory that the Tesla, because it runs on electricity, which is far less expensive than petrol or gasoline, that I could actually end up saving some money. So the model here for my Subaru is based off of if I were to have run it for 12 months. I didn't, but it's based on the number of miles that I drove in my Tesla over the last year and what I know about how much it was costing me to operate that on a monthly basis. So I just kind of pushed that out 12 months and got these numbers. So one of the things that you'll notice here, I'll point out over here on the right hand side, purchase price. You can see purchase price for both cars. The Legacy was about $28,000. Model S was about $53,000. I did buy it used through Tesla, so a lot of the things that I'll cover here as far as repairs go were covered under the 50,000 mile 4-year warranty. I think without that warranty, the Tesla would have been extremely expensive, and I'll get into that in just a moment here. So let's talk about month-to-month cost here, because that's really what I was really interested in is, was it less expensive or more expensive for me to own and operate a Tesla versus the Subaru Legacy? So right off the bat, I averaged it out and was driving about 5,500 miles a month. My energy costs for the Tesla were about $120 a month. Now, consider the fact that I'm driving quite a bit. So for the average person who probably drives maybe between 30 and 40 miles a day, this energy cost is going to be way, much lower, much lower. Whereas with the Subaru, gasoline was running me about $450 to $500. There's a good chance that this is probably on the low end here. In fact, let's go ahead and bump this up here. And this will probably give a little bit more of an accurate estimation. You can see the difference between car payments, insurance. I had this question asked several times when I posted this on the Tesla Worldwide Facebook group. So, by the way, thank you for those that are watching this that gave me feedback on the Facebook post. Shout out to you. Appreciate all the valuable insight and questions and things that I should add to this. So, insurance costs. Tesla is just a bit more, and I think that's because it's a higher purchase price and more expensive to fix. Maintenance. What does this factor in here? Because this could mean lots of things to lots of people. For the Subaru Legacy, this is mainly oil changes and tires. For Tesla, since there's really not any maintenance, this consists completely of tires for me. So, I drove almost 66,000 miles in 12 months. So I did end up buying a couple pairs of tires. I think that this will probably, we'll see, start to level out potentially, but maybe I'll buy one pair of tires a year instead of two. But the maintenance, I put the tires under that because it technically is a recurring cost over about a 30,000 mile period. So on a month-to-month level, you can see here that you're actually pretty darn close. You've got the Tesla at a little over $1,400 a month. The Subaru Legacy a little over $1,200 or almost $1,200 dollars a month. So when I look at this and I scale it out 12 months, what did the Tesla cost me? As I mentioned before, almost 66,000 miles, a total of $1,440 dollars of electricity cost. And then look at the difference between these two. This I thought was really fascinating. So I spent about $6,000 in gasoline, or would have spent about $6,000 in gasoline over a 12-month period with the Subaru. Car payments, you can see they flip-flop there because of the purchase price. And then insurance, of course, is quite a bit different. Maintenance, again, this primarily had to do with tires. I started off when I bought the Model S. It came with 21-inch wheels, which of course are bigger, they wear faster, and so about 9 months into ownership, I switched to 19s. So I do expect during these next 12 months that the cost of tires for me will be less expensive. They're less expensive overall because they're smaller tires, but they're also going to wear less because of what the tires are made out of. Typically with 21-inch tires, as far as I'm aware of, there are no all seasons. You've got to do either summer or winter, and if you do summer, they do wear very, very fast. So I'm down on 19s and I've got all seasons. I will have to buy some winter tires most likely for this coming winter on the 19-inch wheels. So that'll be another cost there, but hopefully these will last quite a bit longer. Maintenance-wise, for the Subaru Legacy, again, it's primarily or solely actually oil changes on that one. What were some of my one-time costs with the Tesla? I had to install the 240 volt outlet in my garage. I did end up paying for window tinting with the Tesla. Car registration, you can see here, there's a big difference there. All-weather mats, I did pony up, although I wasn't terribly happy with Tesla's all-weather mats that WeatherTech makes. I did buy them. In fact, I did a video product review on the WeatherTech Tesla all-weather mats. This was something that actually I was able to take advantage of in 2016. This was the last year that the state of Colorado made available the $6,000 EV tax credit for used vehicles. They no longer allow that, but lucky me, I was able to take advantage of that. So I was in a couple of fender benders, not of my fault, and they both happened within a week period, and so I paid the deductible for that. That was a cost of mine. My right mirror was broken, so you can see how much that cost. The light in the self-presenting door handle also went out and I had Tesla fix that. And then this was probably one of the biggest ones that I had fixed a couple of weeks ago, which was a bit sad, and expensive for me. There was a water leakage on the headliner, and but all in all, when I factor in that rebate, I actually uh, well, more or less made some money there, but the rebate actually made all of these expenses for the last 12 months a wash. I did put the Legacy's cost of registration, and then I also had a fender bender, not my fault as well, with the Subaru Legacy. So you can see here one-time cost. Just to give you an idea, I will touch on or drill into repairs, which I kind of drilled into or broke down on a separate tab. So that's at a very high level. What I'm looking at here for cost. Now let's take a look at electricity usage, my mileage, how that shook down, repairs, and some miscellaneous cost. Okay, so the first section that we're going to take a look at is the electricity cost. This one's a little bit tricky because the electricity costs are all compiled together for the household. So I had to do some estimating here, but what you can see here is my 2016 electricity cost overall as a whole. I purchased the Tesla or acquired the Tesla in September of 2016, beginning of September 2016. So when I look backwards, I can see what energy costs were, electricity costs were before I got the electric car, and then moving forward from there, what they were. So again, keep in mind that I'm doing quite a bit of driving, about 5,500 miles a month. So your electricity costs are most likely going to be less. And of course, they vary depending on the state and country that you're in. For me, electricity is about 11 cents per kilowatt hour. So not the most expensive and probably not the least expensive. But you can see in summer months, before I acquired the electric car, you can see the electricity it started to go up from the wintertime, and with its peak around July, and that's when air conditioners is probably working the hardest. So for these months, they are a little bit higher, but that's pretty typical for summers here in Colorado. And you can see what as I go into 2017, what the electricity costs are. So what I did was I tried to extrapolate the difference between 1 month, for example, February of 2016, and that same month of 2017 to get my best guess as to what electricity is going towards the car. You can see the reason why this one was low is because I had the car in the body shop for about 4 weeks. And then here it was low because I was out of town for 1 week, and then had the car at Tesla fixing the water ingress on the headliner inside of the car. So I averaged these numbers out and got to about 100 I rounded it up, about $120 of electricity going towards the car. My mileage, this was another interesting one, and I use Mile IQ for my app to track where I travel and the miles that go towards my business expenses. So I realized when I was running these numbers that these two totals here do not total up to the whole amount of miles that I drove from September of 2016, which is the odometer that I started with on the Tesla when I purchased it, to the odometer when it ended. So I went with what was on the odometer versus what Mile IQ tracked. I guess maybe my theory is here the reason why there is a misalignment with mileage is because maybe I was in an area where I didn't get a lot of cell signal, and maybe it didn't track completely or accurately the mileage through the Mile IQ app. All right, so this is a really insightful one, I think. And before I compiled this list, I really didn't realize how often I was going to the service center to have things fixed. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, because I bought used from Tesla, it came with a 50,000 mile 4-year warranty. So most of the things on here were covered for within that warranty. But one of the interesting things, may be unfortunate for some people, but I really didn't mind because I really love driving my Tesla. I was almost at the service center every single month to have something taken a look at. So what did I have as far as repairs go? I mentioned that I was in a fender bender in the Tesla, had that repaired. So deductible for that was $250 for me. In January, there was a rattling in the glove box that started. They applied felt tape to the trim panel. That was covered under warranty. The rear left door handle actually stopped working. It stopped presenting itself, so they replaced the position switch harness, this should say, not harness. That was under warranty. I mentioned the side mirror. That was my fault, or my wife's fault, rather. And that cost to replace that entire assembly was $402.50. The right door started opening itself in March when I put my car into park, and they adjusted the micro switch there and did some magic. That was covered under warranty too. Right headlight started to go out, so they replaced the bulb under warranty. Charge port light ring, the lit ring around the charge port where you go to plug in the car, started going out. Not the entire thing, but maybe one of the LEDs in that ring. So they just replaced the entire thing and fixed it. That was under warranty. Left headlight went out. They replaced that. Or it started to go out. It started to actually flicker. So if you're experiencing this on and off of one of the headlights, it most likely means your light is going out. So they replaced that one. The headlights, ironically, went out around the same time, within a month of each other. That was under warranty. Charge cable port not opening, so I would go to press the charge cable, and the door would not open. And so they just replaced the entire charge port, under warranty as well. A condensation in the right brake light, that had to do with the tail lamp assembly and applique. So that, in other words, the seal around that brake light had just gone bad or worn out or something, so that was replaced. Creaking sound in the sunroof. They cleaned, lubricated, and applied felt tape. Felt tape seems to be a favorite way to solve problems there. I haven't had an issue with this since, so I'm okay with that. Under warranty too. Interior front piece held by Velcro coming off. There's a part when you open up the front trunk that I'm not sure if it's supposed to come off. I guess it is, since there's Velcro, but regardless, they applied some super glue to one of the sides, and I haven't had any issues with that coming off since. Under warranty too. Left scroll wheel on the steering wheel stopped working, so they replaced that, under warranty. Front left door handle light out. I mentioned that before. This one happened outside of warranty, so I did end up paying for that. And then lastly, water ingress on headliner was apparently had to deal with the seal along the molding on the outside of the car above the windows, this chrome piece that runs along the towards the top of the car above the windows. So you can see here what the total was on that. I wish I noticed some staining on the headliner before warranty went out, but a really bad instance happened after warranty. So outside of that, I mean, it would have been pretty inexpensive. So the last thing I'll touch on, which I already sort of mentioned actually in the on the totals page. It's just these one-time expenses, things that I don't expect to have to pay for again, maybe with the exception of this one and this one. Um, so all in all, when I factor everything in, you can see the difference in cost a little bit more, but I think I'm pretty pleased, and in some aspects now that I have the 19-inch wheels, this cost for the Tesla should be a lot closer to if I were to have kept my Subaru Legacy. All right, so thanks for tuning in and watching this video. I hope you found it super valuable. What I'd like to do on a separate video is talk a little bit about total cost of ownership and factor in some of the things that I got feedback on, like depreciation. But that'll be for a separate one, I think, a separate video. And I'd also like to talk about battery degradation over a 12-month period. I think that would be an interesting video. So if I missed something or you were hoping that I covered something, put it in the comments section, and that can be I can add that to the short list for videos that I do in the future. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe and like, and if you are in the market for a new or inventory Tesla, please use my referral code down below. It'll get you $1,000 off your purchase, as well as free supercharging for life, as long as you purchase the car before 2017, the end of 2017. So that's all for now. See you on the next video.